Oh, you may have noticed that Sean Spicer has been having a bit of a tough week. The new White House press secretary has been feuding with the press since Saturday on everything from the size of the inauguration crowd to President Trump's claims of voter fraud. It hasn't been pretty.
Is he considering
Kristen, this is a
black sites?
I'm not going to start answering hypotheticals about documents that are floating around. That's a you're basically okay, Kristen. We're going to end this right now.
We're on day 2.
Guys, I know you're all anxious. I appreciate it.
He made this statement during the inauguration.
I understand it.
How can he be comfortable with his win if he believes
he's very comfortable with his win?
3 million votes. Maybe he didn't win.
No, he's very comfortable with his win.
If he does believe that, what does that mean for democracy?
It means that, yeah, I've answered your question.
So will Mr. Spicer manage to find his footing in something nicer? Well, let me ask someone who's actually been in his shoes. It's the return of Dana's do's and don'ts. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs all around. So every time I see him in front of the press, I think of you, and I wonder to myself, what would Dana say? What are some of the do's? What advice would you give Sean Spicer at this point?
I like Sean Spicer very much. I've known him for years, and I think he was an excellent spokesman for the U.S. Trade Representative. He did a good job for the RNC. It is only day 2. I think that he's done, or day 3, whatever. There's so much interest, and Donald Trump, as president, has done so much in 3 days, both in making news and then becoming the news, kind of inadvertently and unintentionally. So I think that Sean's doing okay, and that he probably does have his footing, but it's going to just take a period of adjustment between him and the press corps to figure out how they want to work together and like settle things down.
Is it harder to be the first person in a new administration?
That's interesting. So Ari Fleischer and I have this debate. Arguably, it is harder at the beginning because you don't have any policies out yet. You're just getting your team together, and things like this Black Sites memo surfaces. You think, what the heck is that? Okay. However, if you are the press secretary at the end, you are then defending everything that has happened in the last 6 to 7 years. And so you have to keep track of all of that, because you can't say, it's only day 2, we don't know.
That's a really good point.
You have to say,
and you came into George W. Bush's presidency at a very difficult time. All right, so you would tell Sean Spicer, one of your do's, win the arguments with facts.
Always. I mean, you've known this really even since you were you in speech and debate? On the high school speech and debate team?
I was in Girls State, Girls Nation, and Youth Legislature.
Okay. The only way to win in those cases is to have more facts than they do. And
but they can't fact-check you, but the press can fact-check every statistic that he...
Well, and now it's a little bit different, too, because you have real-time ability to check now on your phone if you're in the press corps. Like when I was press secretary, I didn't even have a Twitter account. And that's how quickly technology has changed. And I think one thing Sean Spicer said he'll do is to try to bring in more voices into the press briefing room through Skype or other new means of technology, which I think is really innovative. But it doesn't. The only thing that can help you in that room is to have more facts than they do. And my key was make sure they know that I have more facts than they do.
And that
way they didn't question me.
That sort of confidence comes with time. I don't think he's developed it yet.
Well, they don't have anything in place yet for him to have it.
It's a stressful job. It's very hard. His boss tends to take things personally. One of your don'ts is don't take it personally. Hard to do, though, right?
It's extremely difficult to do. But one thing that also remember, when Sean is speaking, he is not speaking his own personal opinions. In fact, I don't think I ever expressed a personal opinion until I started on the 5, because I was always a spokesperson for somebody else. And there is no question in my mind that Sean Spicer is speaking directly for President Trump. And so the press can take comfort. It might drive them crazy, but he is speaking directly for him. They have that kind of a relationship, so that's a good thing.
Do you think they've been unfair with their assessment of him?
Of Sean?
Yeah.
Who? The press or the anonymous sources inside the White House?
No.
I think that Sean made a couple of missteps initially, and then he tried to make up for it. And I think he did something that's pretty unusual. He actually had a second chance to make a first impression, and I think he did a better job of it on Monday.
All right.
He's a good guy. He knows a lot of policy. He's going to be able to get through those briefings in a lot faster than 70 minutes.
Yeah, well, thank God you're here, because you can keep tabs on how he's doing.
The only other thing I would say that he has to protect himself. Don't prepare for Monday's briefing on Monday. You prepare for Thursday's briefing on Monday so you can keep ahead of things.
All right, very good. Hopefully he's watching, as he always does, I'm sure. Dana, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.